If you've had smelly breath or digestive problem, then this class can help prevent that from becoming serious disease. Hi, this is Zia and this is
Kamana, and welcome to Holistic Nomads TV,
where ancient wisdom and modern science can help you to have more clarity and energy in your life. So in today's episode is this segment called The Truth About, and in this The Truth About series we are going to cover about this first stage of disease that modern medicine will not actually categorize it as disease or imbalance yet. So in today's episode is going to talk about tongue coating. So what is tongue coating from Ayurvedic perspective?
From a traditional Ayurvedic perspective, a coating on the tongue, and we're not talking about just a little bit of saliva, but like a thick, greasy type coating, usually with a color to it, a white, a yellow, or a brown. This sort of coating on the tongue shows that the body has built up excess somewhere, that excess in the body is now starting to block the function of metabolism, enzyme secretion, digestive function across the body. Wherever that coating is on the tongue gives us an idea to where in the body is that blockage, that excess, that congestion happening. So if the coating is further to the back of the tongue, it represents the lower parts of the body. If it's in the middle torso. If it's towards the front of the tongue, rarer, then it's the upper parts of the body through here. So a coating on the tongue represents excess, that the body has got too much of something, it's building up somewhere, and it's going to start to create imbalances, generally disease type imbalances over time.
So would you say that because baby will most likely have coating, does it mean they have excess mama milk?
That their body has not yet established a smooth digestive process yet. And I wouldn't say that most babies have a coating.
Actually. Oh, is it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
baby.
looking at it as a regular thing, but I would say that babies could have a nice, clear, healthy tongue with a very mild coating towards the back.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, okay, maybe you've looked at more babies than me. Maybe I need to look at that. It's not my specialty, looking at babies' tongue coatings.
Yeah. And then the color itself means something, right?
Yeah, the color. Yep, the brown color shows a tendency towards vata building up in the body and an excess accumulation of vata, an excess of vata. A yellow coating shows more heat-related things. This is related to pitta dosha building up, and a white coating shows more damp, congestion related to kapha.
Which is why baby's tendency is white.
White coating.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what causes it, the tongue coating?
There's a range of different understandings on this. The more modern medical understanding is that it's caused by the biome of bacteria. So the bacteria that are present inside the digestive tract will create a certain tendency towards a tongue coating. The Ayurvedic perspective is that it's created through the digestive tract, which would include bacteria, and our breath, especially a tongue coating that builds overnight. We evacuate toxins on the breath, and some of those land up in the mouth. They're pushed up through breathing towards the mouth and the tongue. The reason that it builds on certain areas of the tongue is because there is a circulation reference between every part of the body and the whole of the body, this relationship between the small and the large. It's sort of like creation built little maps, keyboards for us to be able to look at the whole with in many different parts of the body. So one of those is the tongue. So
what's the worst case scenario if this issue, the early stage of disease development, that is tongue coating, is not treated?
Well, the digestive system is sort of like the crossroads of so many disease. So we can treat so many imbalances in how we digest life. Are we getting the proper nutrients out of things and building good tissues? And are we getting rid of our waste products? Largely happens through the digestive system. So if we have a tongue coating that's building up, it's showing that that digestive function is not working well. We're not able to absorb as much nutrients to live a vital life, and we're not able to excrete as much waste products out the other side, causing toxins to build up in the system. So this can lead to all sorts of degenerative diseases because of that channel not functioning so well. Just the same, lots of diseases that may not be so related to the digestive tract can be helped through enhancing digestive function and enabling us to get rid of toxins better and get nutrients in better. I would say the primary condition that digestive imbalances and tongue coating leads to is going to be blockage of circulation, autoimmune type conditions, immune system imbalances where the immune system function gets low.
Yeah, which is why as Ayurvedic practitioners, this is kind of like basic understanding that you need to have like in your toolkit when you assess a client.
Yeah.
So that you can tell many things from like things that...
Tongue is one of our first stage diagnostic assessments. I'll use it in 99% of every consultations that I do. I will look at someone's tongue to assess digestion, metabolism and circulation.
So it's like being a detective, isn't it?
That's right. How many different clues can we look at? The tongue is one area for clues.
So the next one is what then the treatment for this?
The treatment for a tongue coating comes in a few different stages here. So the first one is related to exercise. When we exercise, we pump the circulation, including the circulation through our digestive tract. We tend to burn up these half-digested byproducts, the bits of food that we hadn't fully used. When we exercise, we're like, yeah, let's burn up what nutrition is left inside the body. So we tend to burn away the primary cause of the tongue coating in the first place, excess. We exercise and we burn up that excess in the body. If the tongue coating is in a certain place, then we can also prioritize our exercise to that region of the body. So if the tongue coating is further to the back of the tongue, you're going to prioritize the legs, the hips, the lower belly. Do belly exercises that really stimulate movement in the lower organs, squats, these sorts of exercises that work with the hips. These will be great for that sort of coating. The middle tongue coating, the pitta, we're going to get more exercise around the core, more twisting type postures to compress and open and get this area moving. Warmth again from the legs, the lower portion, so we stimulate the circulation up throughout the body. Because excess heat may be part of a yellow tongue coating or a tongue coating around the middle, we'd need to be more aware of slowly pushing the limits of heat and not pushing so intensely.
Which can be the tendency of pitta too.
Tendency of pitta to overdo it. And then if it's more of a top region tongue coating, leading towards the tip of the tongue, this part of the body, then we prioritize exercise of the top part of the body.
So that's first is a daily exercise.
First one, daily exercise. And then number two would be some form of fasting. Because tongue coating, a greasy coating shows an excess, then we want to reduce a little bit the amount of food that we're eating or modify the way in which we're eating. So I generally apply fasting in 3 stages. The first one is there some gap between the meals? Are we having a period of time every day of 2 to 3 hours where we're not eating something, we're drinking lots of liquid, we're allowing the body to digest what we've already eaten and not just eating again and again? The second one is stopping food after dark. If we've still got quite a tongue coating, then stopping as soon as the sun goes down, start your fast from then. And then you can eat again the next breakfast. This is almost 12 hours of fasting. If you're stopping at 6 p.m. and you're not eating until 6 a.m. or later, it can be more than 12 hours of fasting within that window. And then it might move into intermittent fasting for longer periods. Again, these would all need to be supervised depending on the person. The safest 2, especially if there is vata imbalances, are 1 and 2, meaning just gaps between the meals and stop eating after dark.
Quick thing about intermittent fasting, because it's something that is kind of hype recently.
Yeah.
Or not recently, just last couple of years. And why is that intermittent fasting, as you said, is ideally needs to be done with supervision? Because now many people just do it because someone else drew this set of program and they just do it. What would be the worst case scenario that might happen?
The worst case scenario is that the body can move into deficiency, especially vata and pitta types easily. They'll move into deficiency of blood sugar levels, deficiency of fluids, that the nervous system can get stressed easier as well. When we don't have food and sufficient amount of carbohydrates in the diet, then it's easier for the nervous system to go into stress response, cortisol and other things. Where when we eat carbohydrates, especially wholesome carbohydrates, cooked rice, a sweet potato, these stimulate a dopamine and serotonin release within inside the brain, and they encourage more of a happiness, smooth nervous system state. So not eating any food for longer periods of time makes our nervous system more vulnerable. So depending on the person, we might go, oh, you're not the person for regular intermittent fasting. You're going to do a modified version where we're still having a little bit of carbohydrates or other things. Maybe the doctors figured out that your tongue coating is because of protein. It's because of eggs. All we need to do is take out that specific food that was building the excess for you. So there's all sorts of ways to modify that. I think intermittent fasting can be a great thing. It just needs to be looked at with awareness.
Next one, because it relates to digestion, is there any herbs that can help with that?
Yep, there's quite a few different digestive herbs that can help. We're looking at things that have a pungent quality to them, so gentle, warming and spicy. Ginger, cumin, coriander seeds, fennel seeds, cumin seeds, even
you mentioned
chili.
Cumin seeds twice.
Things that start with C and they're a spice, they're probably in there.
Is cardamom?
Cardamom. These have a pungent, warming quality. The pungent quality digests the half-digested byproducts throughout the system. So a little bit of those at the meals, a little bit of those in teas would be great. Then the bitter quality, the bitter taste drains excess from the body. So the pungent digests it and the bitter drains it out. So a little bit of bitter in the diet can help to reduce tongue coating as well. Again, not excess, just making sure there's a little bit of bitter foods that are present within the diet. And they're the two tastes that are going to help digest a tongue coating and work with it, pungent and bitter. And our last one is good bacteria. So it's not a herb, but to add good bacteria to the diet can help to repopulate a good flora inside of us. And as the tongue coating relates to the balance of bacteria, putting good probiotics in can help that. The reason I've put it in this order though, and I've left good bacteria to last, is that we shouldn't need to regularly take good bacteria. Bacteria multiply by themselves. So once they are seeded in a healthy functioning digestive system, they should multiply based on the healthy diet and the herbs and spices that we eat in a nice, favorable way. If, however, we take antibiotics and we wipe out the bacteria, then we'll need to seed it again for a period of time to build up. And that can sometimes be 2 years to build up a good bacteria again. So it takes time for them to multiply, but we don't necessarily need to take it every day. And if we start with the good bacteria and we're not implementing many of the other things that I talked about, regular exercise, occasional fasting, not overeating, digestive herbs, a diet that suits your body type, then we are not laying the fertile ground within which the bacteria can multiply. So we tend to waste a bit more of our money on the good bacteria then, rather than waiting until I've implemented these other lifestyle and food choices. I've now created an environment where good bacteria naturally dominate, and then I add the seed to that fertile soil. It's much more likely to grow.
It's like having a home. If the home is not comfortable, if the home is not safe, then no matter how precious things are inside, it's just gonna disappear. Or
they just tend to move somewhere else.
Yeah. And then one more thing that we can also add on this recommendation is that the previous thing that you have mentioned is the remedies.
Yep.
And then one of the things that you also often recommend me and others that we can implement in our daily practice is something called tongue scraping.
Tongue scraping, great one, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more on what is it and the ideal way to use it? Maybe
Sure.
you want to touch it.
A tongue scraping, as far as I know, is invented in Ayurvedic medicine and coming from Indian medicine there. And it's basically a little metal device. It's much better to have a metal one than a plastic one. And it's used to scrape the tongue from the back of the tongue forward. And we usually do this first thing in the morning. So we've just woken up after sleeping for the night. The body's going through that fasting metabolic stage at night. It's moving the toxins towards their elimination sites. And one of those elimination sites is the mouth. So first thing in the morning, we scrape the tongue and it falls onto the white sink, it's easier to be able to see what color the coating is there. So not only are we removing toxins with this tongue scraping, we're also getting a diagnostic method. Every day we see our tongue and we start to go, oh, where is the coating? How much is the coating? Has it built up more? What's the color of it? And then you can evaluate in relation to the last few days. Oh, my coating is a lot thicker this morning. Oh, that pizza did not digest so well. Or with me, I tend to need tonifying foods at night. A nighttime tonifying drink will be really good to keep a little bit of body mass on for me. If I do that every day for a month, a nighttime tonifying drink an hour before going to bed, I will start to build up excess armor. So I can use my tongue as my diagnostic method to go, oh, I've done enough of the nighttime tonifying drink. I may be gaining a little bit of weight and holding on and it feels good, but if I keep doing this for too long, it's going to create blockage from that excess that's not digesting well. Let's see, if I do 5 days, how does that change the coating? No drink at night, no tonifying, goat's milk, anything, and oh, the coating's reduced, I can now tonify again. So it gives us a good self-diagnostic method to be able to use. I think tongue scraping is the simplest daily regime to apply that everyone should get into. It's very simple to use. A good copper one will last you a lifetime. It's naturally antibacterial with copper. I would prefer to use copper, silver, or gold if possible. That's about tongue scraping.
Maybe next time for my birth present, you want to get me a gold tongue scraper.
A gold tongue scraper. It's the most ideal tongue scraper for Vata, so it would suit you very well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So gold is for Vata because it's warming. Silver is for Pitta because it's cooling, and copper is
Tridoshik.
Tridoshik. Okay. So if you would like to get Kimana's choice recommended tongue scraper, there's a link below on our caption on how and where to get that. Anything else you would like to add?
No, it's been great to share with you. I think it's a fascinating subject. It's one of my favorite subjects are the ones that educate people to be able to choose for themselves. So this is a subject I'm really passionate about. Please continue to use it in your life and share it with others. I know it's a tool that can prevent many diseases in the future if people just take a look at that on a regular basis. Great to share with you. I hope you share with others. If you're interested to help others heal, or just wishing to have more self-control in your own healing process, then check out the programs on Ayurvedic.com. I've brought together some of the world's best healing experts, teaching people what I consider to be the 6 most important branches of holistic healing. I really hope to share with you there and the other teachers as well. All the best. Namaste.
Now, theory without practice is wasteful because hearing leads to forgetting, teaching leads to remembering, and applying leads to mastering. That's why we will encourage you to leave a comment below and share one learning insight from this video. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you will be the first to hear about our future educational videos. And for more resources on health and healing, check out our website holisticnomads.com. There you will find articles, quizzes on Ayurveda, loads of free downloads, and of course, our future events and courses. Thank you so much for watching. We hope it's been beneficial for you. Hope to see you next week. Bye! Without practice is wasteful because hearing leads to forgetting, teaching leads to remembering. Sorry.